Hi, everyone. Welcome again to another podcast from Teacher Joseph. Today, we have the headline that King Charles is brilliant at mimicking Harry Potter voices when he reads bedtime stories to his grandchildren, Queen Camilla reveals in her Reading Room podcast. And this is from the Daily Mail, but this story is being carried by most news agencies today in one form or another. I'd really like to hear that, I really would like to hear King Charles and his brilliance at mimicking. Well, anyway, let's continue with the story. There's a few things to unpick here. First of all, Queen Camilla reveals in Reading Room podcast. Yeah, so she has a new podcast which is designed to encourage people to take up the art of reading, and maybe we can grab a little clip of her voice later. But first of all, let's see what she has to say about King Charles mimicking. I mean, I can just imagine him sitting there with the suit and the tie and the handkerchief in his pocket, reading. I just can't imagine him relaxed enough to do that. But it seems that the royals are quite natural when they're alone. The image we're given of them is very strict and severe. It's rather sad. I know they're trying to change it, but yeah, his image has always been one of looking quite stern, I thought. It says here, King Charles can put on a show-stopping turn as characters from Harry Potter when performing for his grandchildren, Queen Camilla has revealed. And a show-stopping turn means it's so good that the act, his turn, was so good that the whole show stopped. That's the idea of a show-stopping turn. The monarch, and he's on our currency, of course. He's on all of our coins. It says here, who shared the 50p coin with Wizard Albus Dumbledore. So, yeah, the Bank of England, I think, did a series of coins, as they often do. The monarch on one side, something on the other. So it's saying here he actually shared a coin with Dumbledore last year, and that he can do a brilliant impersonation of the characters from the beloved children's series, his wife has said. Yeah, that's not going to be released anytime soon, but I would like to hear that, yes. The Queen revealed her husband's talent for mimicry on her new podcast, The Queen's Reading Room, last week, making her the second royal to move into online programming after Meghan Markle's now cancelled Archetypes show. Oh, really? The second royal, huh? I thought Prince Andrew's wife, Sarah Ferguson, was all over the media. Wasn't she doing a chat show at one point? Oh, I suppose it wasn't online, I guess. Yeah, they're trying to modernize, aren't they? It says here on the opening episode of the new podcast, in which she largely played second fiddle. That means that she played a supporting character to somebody. It means there was somebody there more famous than her or had more airtime than her. If you play second fiddle to someone, you become second, not the main source of attention. It says here, Her Majesty revealed she loves reading the books by J.K. Rowling to her 5 grandchildren. That's a bit controversial. J.K. Rowling, of course, being a critic of trans people. It says here, after staying silent for most of the show, Camilla said, I can't mimic voices for love nor money. Yeah, that's another very normal English idiom. For love nor money, it means I can't do something no matter how hard I try. She says, I'm completely hopeless at it, but my husband, he does it brilliantly. He can do all the voices. Oh, really? I just can't imagine. I mean, look at him there. Can you imagine him impersonating Harry Potter? No. Well, if she says he's good at it, maybe it's true. Although she looks more like Anna-Fried from ABBA, doesn't she? I've always thought that, but they're all Germanic, aren't they? So that's probably why. Anna-Fried's father was from Germany. I don't remember, but I remember there's a connection. But could you pass a cucumber sandwich? That's the most I can imagine him saying. Um, yeah, let's see. So these are the pictures. There he is again, pointing. Oh no, no. Um, oh, there's more. Yeah, these are more stories. Yeah, Camilla has been open in the past about how good Charles is with all 10 of his grandchildren. 10? Oh, really? 10 grandchildren, huh? I suppose my grandmother, she had 6, I guess. My great great grandparents, they had an uncountable number. I mean, they had what, 10 kids who had 10 kids each. My goodness me. That's 100 grandkids, no? Or is my mathematics awful? Okay, so it says here 10 of its grandchildren, which includes 5 by her children, Tom and Lola, and her brother Freddie, plus Laura's Eliza, Gus, and Louise. I don't know who they are. Oh yeah, of course. She had a son before she married Charles, didn't she? Yeah, that's her step grandchildren. Yeah, it says here, yeah, the royals are her step grandchildren, I want to say. In an interview for Prince, Son and Heir, Charles at 70 in 2018, Camilla said he will get down on his knees and crawl about with them for hours. Yeah, making funny noises and laughing. And my grandchildren adore him, absolutely adore him. Yeah, they said the same about Prince Philip, didn't they? He could be quite normal when provoked. I think it's just the image we're given of them that isn't, well, it isn't this. He reads Harry Potter and he can do all the different voices. And I think children really appreciate that. A year earlier, she claimed her husband's performances left the grandchildren spellbound. Well, it's leaving me a bit shocked. Not spellbound, but shocked. It says here, when talking about the books she enjoys reading to her grandchildren in the new podcast, Camilla said, I think the one I enjoyed reading more than anything else was Harry Potter. Oh, I can't imagine her sitting there with the crown and the gown reading Harry Potter. I suppose, and they're having the days when they're not doing anything, they just put their feet up, same as the rest of us. And then she says again, I can't mimic voices for love nor money. We'll just move down a little bit. A source told the Times that there was a conscious decision not to turn the podcast, which follows the success of her Queen's Reading Room book club set up during the pandemic, into the Camilla Show. Oh dear. Right. Um, yeah, reading room is a very old English term meaning library, and they still use that in American English more frequently than in Britain. Future guests on the 8-episode series will also include Dame Joanna Lumley, author Elif Shafik, comedian and writer David Badiel, with the Queen expected to appear fleetingly in each one. Fleetingly, yeah. Yeah, that means that she won't be the center of attention. It had already been downloaded in more than 120 countries, with 60% of its audience coming from abroad. Yeah, well, they like her. Look at the faces; they just look so severe. Um, I mean, I'm sure they're very nice people. It's just over the years, the image painted hasn't been pleasant. Oh, there she is. Look, there's Camilla. Is that her hair or the hat? I'm not sure. Okay, and she admits she's hopeless at mimicking Harry Potter characters. Well, let's have a listen to what she sounds like herself. Now, there may be an advert here. If there is, I'll try to edit it out when I'm editing this podcast.
I think the one I enjoyed reading more than anything else was Harry Potter. All the stories, and I can't mimic voices for love or money. I'm completely hopeless at it. I was a really bad actor at school, and I've never been able to master the art of mimicry. But my husband, he does it really. He can do all the voices.
Of course.
Right, that was our Queen, Her Royal Highness Queen Camilla, telling us that her husband, there he is there, Charles, he is very good at mimicking Harry Potter. I really, really need to hear that, really. I hope they let us hear that at some point. It says here King Charles is seen playing with his then newborn grandson, Prince Louis. I think it's Louis in English. I don't think they use the S, Louis. I could be wrong. In TV program Prince, Son and Heir. Oh, there he is again. Oh, doesn't he look like the one we were talking about the other day, Edward VIII in this picture? There they are in the garden, look. Oh, I don't see any of them slaving over those plants. I suppose they have people they employ for that. The remarks gave listeners an insight into the seemingly idyllic home life that Charles and Camilla have, and the importance Her Majesty places on family. 3 of her grandsons played roles at Charles's coronation, while the Queen was also able to spend time with her own family, away from the traditional Sandringham gathering of royals over Christmas. It comes after a BBC documentary offered people a behind-the-scenes look at the royal family during Charles III's year of coronation. Yeah, they are experts at reinventing themselves, aren't they? They're trying to give a more natural and nice image for today's generation. The Queen was trying that in the years before her death as well. In the film, the Queen's sister, Margaret, said the couple are yin and yang, but make an utterly formidable team. Oh, really? The Queen's sister. Oh, no, that'll be Camilla's sister, the new Queen's sister. I'm still thinking back to the old Queen, of course. I didn't know she had a sister, Camilla. In the film, the Queen's sister said the couple are yin and yang, but make an utterly formidable team. Yin and yang. Yeah. For those of you who are British and remember Channel 4, I would say they're probably more like Zig and Zag, those puppets that used to do the early morning TV show. Annabelle, oh, is that the sister, is it? Annabelle Elliot described her sister as the King of Rock, while Camilla's close friend, Lady Lansdowne, said the fact that the couple had to fight to be together had only strengthened their unshakable bond. Yeah, see, at the reporting of the time when they got together, you know, the reporting in the media at that time was not particularly positive. So it's interesting how the story is framed into a positive one, but very interesting. I suppose that would, you know, keep you closer together if you had to fight to be together. And maybe that's how some people are feeling today when they marry people from overseas, because it's very hard, of course, to get your partner into the country these days. Right, and speaking publicly for the first time about the King and Queen's long relationship, Princess Anne, not known for her emotional effusiveness, gave her sister-in-law the royal seal of approval. Yeah, and that's the story. Yeah, I just want to comment on her voice. Uh, she has a very deep voice. Now, as we mentioned a few weeks ago, we were talking about the actress and broadcaster Marie Colette, who really had diaphragmatic breathing to hold the voice inside and push it out rather painfully. I mentioned at that time that women back then in the earlier generations, deeper voices were considered rather attractive. And if you need any evidence of that, if you think of Joanna Lumley, for example, with a very deep voice, Margaret Thatcher, Queen Camilla, although it's a bit different for her. I think the royals, they all have rather commanding voices, the kind they can use with horses. If they're on a horse, they scream at it and the horse stops immediately. Yeah, they speak with a lot of authority, and you can hear that in Camilla's voice there as well. Princess Anne is the same. She has a rather deep voice. So they were products of their generation and their environments. I'm not sure with them it was anything seductive or actress-like. They just naturally had deep voices because they're country people. They spend much of their time outside. They can scream at a horse who's running away, and the poor thing will stop immediately. Those kinds of voices. But there we are. That's a lovely story, isn't it? About King Charles. And we just go back to the headline here. His brilliance at mimicking. Still, I'd really, really like to hear that. I can imagine him asking for a cucumber sandwich, but I can't imagine him imitating any of the Harry Potter characters. But it does show again, though, that they are actually normal when they are able to portray that. Right, and there we are. I hope you've enjoyed this podcast all about King Charles and his dear wife, our Queen Camilla. I keep forgetting that she's queen now because I always think back to our old queen when I hear the word queen. But yes, do have a listen to her new Reading Room podcast. Sounds very grandioso, doesn't it? But I'm sure it's very good, especially if you like the Royals. All right, so that's it from me. See you again soon. Bye.
When the bell rings and time slips away, his lessons linger through the day. We hold his words like sacred